Hi everybody, these are the do's and don'ts for perspective. So the only thing that you need is a marker or a pencil. I am going to use a ruler. You can also use a straight edge for perspective. So the first thing is that we're going to do the do's and don'ts for perspective. Now perspective, right, do and don'ts. Oops, don'ts. Okay. So again, things that we want to see happy and things that are bad. The first thing is that your horizon line, remember that eye level is straight. So I'm trying to aim for the do's that it's perfectly about the same and it's nice and thin. Okay, so that is a do. So your horizon line is straight. Okay, so this is straight. Here, if you look over at the don't, it might be a little bit crooked. We might even see it go on a slump angle there where it's really crooked, right? And that's a don't. We do not want it to be curved in any way. We want to keep it as straight as possible for that line. The next thing that you see a lot of is your vanishing point. Okay, so your vanishing point, I'm going to just draw a straight horizon line like so. Okay, your vanishing point for a do is a dot. Okay, so your vanishing point is small. It's very small. Over here at the don't, it might be really big. We do not want that. Okay, we don't want it to be big. We want it to be small like so. So not big, small is okay. Okay, so that's not okay, but this is perfect. The next thing is your converging line. So again, I'm going to draw my horizon. I'm going to do my vanishing points. Right, very small, right? Vanishing point is small, tiny, tiny, not big, but small. And then we're going to do what we call converging lines. Now, a converging line, when we do them, we want them to meet up exactly right at that vanishing point. So we're going to start at that vanishing point, and I'm going to actually pull it down. Okay, and again, I'm going to do the same thing here. We're going to start right at that vanishing point, and I'm going to pull it down. That's what we want to see. Okay, this is good stuff. Good stuff. Okay, very good, very small. All of this here is good. Now, if I come over here, sometimes we're in such a rush or we don't pay too close attention to it where our vanishing point and our converging lines don't match. Or we try to do it, but we might go like this. Oops, a little bit more higher up. Okay, where we kind of go above that. We don't want that. We want it so that if you see here, there's nothing up there. Here we have it crisscross. We don't want it crisscross. We want more of like a V, not like an X. So we have, again, we have this nice V shape. We have this X over here. The very last thing for do's and don'ts for perspective is our cutoff and converging line. So I'm actually going to draw my horizon line way up here. I'm going to do my vanishing points up top here. And the next thing is we are going to draw a square. Now, when you draw those squares, just like we talked about in the other tutorial, you want to make sure your lines are vertical and they match the edge of the paper. So if I'm going to do this the right way, it needs to be straight up and down, straight over, and straight over here again. Okay, so there I have my nice little square. That's a little crooked for me. It's kind of hard to do it right now with the, but if I'm going to do it, make it a little bit off, see how crooked it is, you'll eventually see that if it's crooked, my lines won't quite match up the way that they're supposed to. Okay, so again, we have this nice square here and not so nice here. The next thing is your converging lines, right? So your converging lines, if I go ahead and start with this side first, they're going to meet up right at that point. So just like we talked about with our other tutorial, you're going right from that point to your vanishing point. It's kind of hard here, sorry, with this crazy version of, let's see if I can get it right up there. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing here, right, from this point to my vanishing point here. Same thing, this point to my vanishing point here. And same thing from this point to my vanishing point here. I'm going to line up really good. Okay, so I have my square, I have my converging lines. So again, I'm just going to label these just for you. These are called converging lines, right? So converging lines. That's what these are called, right? But the biggest thing that we're actually going to talk about are cutoff lines. So your cutoff lines is what I'm going to show you here in orange. Now, when you do your cutoff lines, it needs to be straight with the original line. So I'm going to come over and I'm going to stop it right there. It's perfect. And I'm going to do my cutoff line. Okay, and I'm going to go all the way from top to bottom. So I have this nice line here. And I'm going to do the same thing. We're going to measure up here. We're going to go all the way up. And I'm going to go all the way to the part where I see it, and then we're going to cut it off. Okay, so now we have this great box here of my lines. If I come over here, and what I don't want to see is when your lines are crooked and they don't match up. So this one's kind of on an angle. If I straighten this just a little bit like I'm supposed to, my box looks weird. It looks like it's tilting for some reason. And if I do again here the same way, starting at that point, coming down, it doesn't quite look like a box should, right? We have this weird angle here. This is supposed to cut off. If this is the angle that it's following, it's supposed to cut off here, right? We see how it comes down here. It looks more like a triangle than it does this trapezoid look. Rhombus look. So here we have this weird triangle when it's supposed to come down here. So this is something we don't want to see. Again, your cutoff lines are straight and match. Okay, so that's the biggest thing that you want to remember with the do's and don'ts for perspective. The biggest thing is that your lines are straight. You need to also remember that your vanishing point is small. You don't want a big one, you want a small one. And of course, also to make sure that you're meeting up at that vanishing point where it's nice and crisp. It's not overlapping, it's nice and crisp. It's meeting up at that point. And of course, those cutoff lines are matching. They're going the same way. All right, that is it for the do's and don'ts. Please make sure you fill out the exit ticket that goes along with this. And you're going to match the do's and don'ts that are on that exit ticket. Thank you so much, guys, and have a great day. Bye.